Welcome to another edition of our Fearless Football Forecast. The whole gang is here.
All three of us.
All three of us. And our cameraman, Bobby. Shout out to Bobby Burns, the fourth member.
We broke through the fourth wall just now already.
Yeah, we did. Two undefeated teams in Pitt County, by the way. J.H. Rose and Farmville Central.
Yeah.
Both looking to keep that alive here. But we're not there yet, Tony. First game is a winless team, and you saw them last week. Ayden-Grifton is traveling to Pamlico County.
Yeah, 0-4 Ayden-Grifton is just something we don't say very often. But Coach Cornwell said it last week. They're just not very good. I mean, he summed it up. He didn't pull any punches. He said they're just not very good right now. Turnovers have been killing them. They had 5 in that loss to Farmville Central. They're going to have to get that turned around if they want to get a win.
All right, what's your pick in that one?
He also said, though, that he wasn't quitting on that team. The team didn't seem like they quit on him. They played hard even though they lost. I feel like they'll get it together. They've got R.J. Nelson, a really good running back. Yeah. I say they'll ride him and get that first win.
Okay, Jim?
I'm going Chargers, too.
We're not going to stop, are we?
No. I mean, they're going to win at some point, and they're not going to turn the ball over 5 times every game.
Yeah.
And when they take care of it, they're going to get a win, and this is a prime opportunity to do that on the road.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ayden-Grifton as well. I think, Tony, you kind of are hitting on it. That mentally, this is going to set in at some point. Hopefully, they're not there yet. I think they need this win to mentally get going there.
Yes, good
I'll
point.
go with the Chargers. Next game, Jim, Hertford County is at South Central, also winless.
Yeah, South Central, it's feast or famine in this county.
It is.
Everybody's undefeated or 3-1 or they're winless. South Central is one of those teams still looking to get a win, and Hertford County comes in at 3-1. Their only loss to a pretty good Rocky Mountain team that lost to Rose last week. South Central still has that big play potential with the Furlough kid. Just haven't seen him put it all together yet. And, they got to do it soon because running out of time. Already 0-3.
Definitely, conference play is coming up as well. What's your pick there?
I think I'm going to take Hertford County in this one. I think it's going to be a close game. I hate to pick against the Falcons because I think at some point they're going to come away with a big win because Sean Furlough is going to come up with this huge 200-yard, 3-touchdown game. It's coming, and it may even be this week. But I think I'm going to take Hertford County. I want to see a little more from South Central. I'm going to see them on Friday, so maybe they'll surprise me. I hope so.
All right, I'm going with Hertford as well. One thing that stands out, you mentioned Furlough. He only had 14 carries last week. I know they like to pass it, but it's like if they can grind it out and get him as many touches as possible, I think they'd be better off on offense. I'm not a coach, so I don't know.
Well, I think part of that, too, is they fall behind so much early where they don't have a choice but to throw the ball, and then that takes them away from using their best player.
Exactly. So maybe they can establish him early this week. But I think Hertford's too strong of a team, so I'll go with Hertford County. Tony,
you mentioned what I was going to say. I feel like 14 carries. Let's double that.
Yeah.
Let's have Furlough see if he can handle 25 carries. I think they'll do that this week, and I think they'll win. I think South Central will get a win.
All right, nice pick. I like it. Next game, my Jaguars 3-0. Farmville Central.
Yours.
All of a sudden
goes to Green Central. Hey, I picked them last week, and they won. So big shout out to Farmville. Obviously, they're rolling on offense. They lost Arkevion Crandall, a really bad knee injury. He's out for the year. But they have some other guys. We've touched on it throughout the week. They have some other running backs. I mean, that's a tough loss injury-wise. But they're going to a Green Central team that's winless. First-year coach there with Alan Wooten, an old North Pitt assistant. So there's some familiarity with those teams. I think it could be a close game. My pick, I'm going with the Jaguars. I think you kind of have to at this point. I think they go on the road and kind of eke out a close win.
I think they'll win fairly easily because that Josh Jones kid really impressed me last week, particularly after Crandall went out. 4 touchdowns, all in the second half, like 212 yards rushing. He only had 11 at halftime. Broke off a 98-yarder. I think they'll ride him. I think Farmville Central will win pretty easily and go to 4-0.
Okay, Jim?
I'm going to agree with Tony on this. I think Farmville wins big. The key with Farmville this year is they're not winning close games. They're putting up 40 points. So, they put over 40 points twice already. Well, I mean, that's incredible for a team like Farmville who's struggled over the last couple of years. So they're not escaping or getting these lucky wins. They're coming out and dominating. And it's Ayden-Grifton, they dominated the second half. So I just think they're going to be 4-0 after this week. I'm going to pick the Jags in this one.
All right, speaking of 4-0, Tony, J.H. Rose is 4-0, and they're hosting Kinston.
Yeah, two teams that haven't met in a really long time. I bet Kinston is geeked for this game, even though they know that they're going to have a tough job against a really good Rose team. I think each week we find something new that we like about that Rose team. They seem to impress us in a new way. They can win games in different ways, but obviously going to lean on that defense.
All right, what's your pick there?
I think Rose will win pretty easily. Home field advantage and the defense, and Kinston's not as good as it's been in years past. I think Rose will win pretty easily.
Okay, Jim?
I'm going to go with Rose as well. You know, Rose is kind of won in different ways. You know, they put up a lot of points. They can win the close games. You know, last week was a 21-7 game where they kind of led the way and kind of controlled the game, even though they didn't pull away. I think there's going to be too much at home for Kinston out there. They're going to be able to handle that defensive front of Rose, so I'm going to go with the Rampants.
All right, I'm going with the Rampants as well. We talked about the defense, and understandably so. Jeffrey Williams, a running back, is really making some plays for them. Nick King is also a running back. They kind of split the carries there a lot, and I think they're able to get some big plays from those guys mainly, and are kind of the total package right now. I'm going with Rose as well. Last game, Jim, this looks like a really, really good one. West Craven and D.H. Conley.
Yeah, it's 2 3-1 teams going head-to-head. Two teams that just have had a lot of success early on and put a lot of points on the board. You know, it's going to be a really interesting matchup because it's a huge win. There's a big difference between being 4-1 and 3-2.
Yeah. You
know, going into the second half of the season. So, and whoever wins this game is going to have a nice little feather in their cap going into that second half. You know, with Conley's, which has been impressive with all their running backs. It seems like no matter who they hand the ball off to, they rush for over 100 yards.
All right, who you picking in that one?
Man, it's going to be a close game. I'm going to go with Conley in this one. They were so impressive last week against West Carteret. They dominated from start to finish. You know, I'm going to go with the Vikings at home.
All right, I'm going to go with Conley as well. The Vikings offense, I think at home, you know, I think it's probably a high-scoring game, some big plays, I would imagine, everywhere. I think Conley maybe makes a couple more, kind of like the Washington game a couple weeks ago, but they hold off.
Minus that 9 minute
minus
stretch.
the crazy ending. Similar type of game, but I'll go with Conley.
Yeah, I mean, if we were in Craven County, I would probably pick West Craven. We're not, so I think I'm going to pick Conley just because I know more about Conley.
True.
The home field advantage is going to help a lot. I like the mixture of West Craven, traditionally a pass-heavy team, against Conley, who is going to grind it out on the ground. I think that'll win out in the end for the Vikings.
All right, there's our games. There's our picks. Good games this week, so make sure you check them out. Get the paper and see reflector.com, and we'll see you back next week.